Well, it's good to be here,
Uh,
and my trip home was lovely. It was lovely.
that's great. We have Stalker 2, and apparently it's dropping as low as 0 FPS on Xbox Series X. Will devs now aim for negative frame rate on the Xbox? No, that's just a jab that the writer took.
Yeah.
Recent
Hmm.
gameplay has showcased Stalker 2 on Xbox Series X having significant performance issues, especially when reaching this area where apparently it opens up, big open world, and you literally freeze for 5 to 10 seconds. And then it returns to about 40 frames per second. Developers have acknowledged the issue and assured players that they are working on improvements before the game to get patches down the road. So, Wilson, I know you've only played a little bit here,
I
and you
played I
talked about
played
it
two.
last week. But we'll have the both of you sort of touch on your experience with Stalker 2 as much as you can here and the performance.
It's definitely not SPG's experience. I'll tell you that. Well, I haven't seen 0 frames, as it were. I mean, zero. When you were telling me about this earlier on today, and I said, isn't that just a crash? And Gem looked into it and said, no, it didn't crash. It measured at 0 frames, which is essentially, I mean, a crash, but it just didn't do anything for a solid 6 seconds until it figured out what to do. That's insane, man. I mean, this game is built for the Series X. It's built for the Xbox. It's meant to be one of the blockbuster things for the end of the year. People have talked about Stalker 2 since, was it last year's Game Awards, or it's been a while. It's been a while, and man, what a flop. I mean, I turned it on for an hour and didn't want to play anymore just because of how it ran. It ran like a game that was 10-year-old. I mean, what is it you're playing right now, Ruru? You're playing GTA, and I assume because I haven't played. Actually, no, this isn't an assumption. I have played GTA on my Series X only a few times, but it runs 10 times smoother. 10 times smoother. Graphics are so much better. I mean, they have to dull it down what the game is for Series X, and even then, it can't handle it. It's insane. I was waiting for the next hotfix, and now I think I'm going to be waiting for a few more.
Yes, and thank you for that perspective, firsthand experience with Stalker 2 on the Xbox Series X. Before I hand it off to Ray, a big question I have personally, just letting anyone know out there. Stalker, it stands for scavengers, trespassers, adventurers, loners, killers, explorers, and robbers. So I just want to let anyone know who didn't know because I didn't know. Ray, why don't you give me
Yes.
some firsthand experience with Stalker
Okay.
2?
Okay. So I actually this time played on my Series X, and just like David, it doesn't feel like a 2024 game, and I can't believe, honestly, that they released this game in the condition that it is. And yeah, it didn't look great. Doesn't feel good, and I was getting sick too. I don't know why. I was sitting on the couch and I'm playing it, and I don't know, it just made me really sick. Um, it's and it to me it felt like it was 20 frames per second. Didn't feel like 30. It felt
And
like
you're playing
20.
on the X, right?
I'm playing on the X. Not that I have an S, but I also have an X, and I played it on the X. So I just got up, hopped on, and played it on GeForce Now. It is 10 times way better. Playing it on a 4090 in the cloud, and it looked horrible. It played horrible,
But
and
Rick, can I ask?
yes,
You're playing on GeForce now, correct?
yes, I am.
Stalker, are you using
Yes.
a controller? Because it was having issues with controller support on release with GFN, I believe.
No, so just so you know, and thank you for sharing that. No, I'm not playing it with the controller. I'm playing it with my keyboard and mouse, but it moves smoother. It moves, and shout out to SPG. Actually, SPG. When I was playing it, he told me the settings to put it on, and I did it to his specifications. And oh my god, it looked better. It played better. It was smoother. I could actually see where I'm going, and it looked great. It was a smooth. On my Xbox Series X, man, it was not as not as wasn't as bad as playing it on the cloud, on xCloud you can't play it. It looks it looks like a PlayStation 2 or Xbox 360. It looked horrible. And I don't like, when I was playing with the controller, I don't like it drifting. I don't like that.
Yeah, the
um
drifting that David showed
yeah,
me,
I didn't
atrocious
Oh, that's
in instant.
terrible. I
Yeah.
think they meant to have fixed that with the first update. I think they said that they fixed that with the first
but
hotfix. So hopefully
yeah,
it's not
but
there
Oh,
the
anymore. But that was abysmal.
SPG. What's
yeah,
going
but
on?
this
Thanks for
what's the best
joining.
So yeah, so Epic, SPG said, dude, just crank everything to Epic, do this, do this, do this. It plays great. And I'm actually playing better with my keyboard and mouse because I've gotten the hang of the controls and moving around, and it's better. I'm so disappointed because that's why I really wanted to have the X to play Stalker 2 on it, man, and it just it's a letdown, dude. Seriously.
SPG, spit the Stalker 2 gospel. Tell people
So
how to play it.
yeah, man, play it on GFN or play it on a very expensive rig with great hardware. DLSS saves the game on PC. Sadly, there's no DLSS for console. And as we all know, Unreal 5 is a flop. But here's the thing, man. The game is actually amazing, man. The atmosphere, the story, like all the twists and turns, getting to know the zone. It is a fantastic piece of content. The only issue is there's many bugs and it's unoptimized. Unoptimized to shit to where it doesn't even play on Xbox, like almost at all. It's very similar. It's very similar to what Cyberpunk tried to do when they released onto the PS4. Like it just didn't work well because the hardware wasn't there to support it in any fashion. And you have to brute force this game pretty much. Like and the consoles just aren't up to snuff. But the sad part is that so many people are going to miss out on this title. Like you guys don't understand how deep the faction system is. Like I'm getting a very different end of the game because some quests are bugged. Like it's uh, it's like a Big Mac missing the lettuce. Like I don't know, man. There's a lot here to really like, and there's a lot here to be upset with. It is the Dark Souls of Fallout, or the Dark Souls mixed with Metro Exodus. Like it's unforgiving. Most fights, when something jumps out of the bushes at you, you fucking run. Like that is the name of the game. Like really, like you pick your battles. Um,
Yeah,
and
but see, on my Xbox Series X, I couldn't see anything. And also, when you got the little beep beep beep, and you're trying to look for stuff, you could it was a glitch. I'm like, okay, I'm looking. Where the hell is it at? Where is it at? Look over
so
here. It's over
so
here.
the artifacts are a little weird. So the anomalies around the map will give you a beeping sound, but that beeping sound doesn't necessarily mean artifact. It just means anomaly. So while you're wandering around, you'll hear beep beep beep, and it's just you're getting too close to your own death. Now, if you pull out your little uh uh cell phone thing that like reads the area, you can find artifacts within some of those anomalies, but not all of them. And then it's a very deep system, man. I can't express it enough. There is no progression, as in, hey, man, I just beat a level. Now I've got a little more health. No, it's all gear and it's all upgrading said gear. The money situation in the game is ridiculous. Like how much money it takes to repair gear. They're fixing and fine tuning all of this stuff. But there is an absolutely fantastic game underneath it all. And I really hope that people will be able to experience it. Maybe we'll have to wait for the remaster for everyone to fall in love with it. Because in 3 years, this game will run no problem on hardware. But right
Well,
now,
I mean, they did
Beef
that with The Witcher. They did that with
remaster.
Cyberpunk. I just don't know what it is because these games get tested, these games get certification, and then they get launched, and people pay money, for
You know,
these
that's the
games. Some
crazy
people
point,
pay a
Ray.
subscription.
They used to have
People
How
something
pay a
does
called
a game that hits 0 FPS, because the people doing quality assurance are obviously meant to, like, you would assume, do simple things like measure frame
exactly.
rate, right? How can a game that
yes.
hits 0 FPS for a solid for a solid 6 seconds and then slowly stumble its way back up to 40 get past certification? How does that happen? How does that happen?
Well, the
That's
system got rid of their QA because we're QA now, and we pay them a
yeah, well,
premium
yeah.
to do the
Yeah,
QA.
yeah, yeah. Well, they got to do something, man, because like people paid for a subscription, and some people didn't. Some people actually um paid the money to play it on their PCs. Some people paid it to play it on their Xbox. Um, this is sad because we wait. Dude, these are games that were like we've waited for years, years. Man, and now I'm worried because Indiana Jones is coming out December 9th. How is that gonna be?
Oh goodness, don't don't put a hex on that
So,
game, Ray.
so
Don't.
in the game, I can't tout this enough, man, and say that it's awesome. There's 5 or 6 or 7 different factions within the game, and there are 3 to 5 main characters that are like scavengers and like don't have anything to do with the main factions that you can befriend and do side missions that opens up different endings for you, like and different options. It is an amazing game that is very bugged and is very hard to run. If Xbox had DLSS, you would be able to get a solid 30 frames. For me to get a solid 60 on my PC here, I have to use DLSS. I mean, it's above 60. It's always like 140, but it'll drop to 80. You know what I mean? But that's
Mhm.
still not that's not great. It's so unoptimized. Uh,
Yeah.
but it is a great game. What's there now, and I can't wait for them to actually finish polishing, optimize a little bit, and fix some of the bugs within their mission chains. And I can understand how they have bugs in their mission chains because everybody's going to play this game different. Like I said, some people will dig in and do a fight 8 times before they beat it. Other people will go, no, that mutant's too powerful and run, and come back later.
I'm
Like,
I'm I'm running. I'm running, and I'm coming back later. I'm running like a little biatch.
yeah, well, I have end game gear, and those fights are still difficult for me. Although I have a automatic shotgun that'll hold 14 rounds and it's double barrel, so boom, boom, pretty good.
Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room.